Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legion Talk, episode number 62. Now, what we're going to be taking a look at, there is a lot of news going on today, and we are going to be looking at where something that just happened recently. Oh, right, that's right. Gavin Newsom avoids recall. No one's really too shocked by this. There are rumors of some issues going on with voting machines. There are rumors of people being told they had already voted when they had not. Obviously, more evidence and news is going to have to come out on that situation. However, from the Associated Press, Democrats push for changes to California recall efforts. So now that the whole entire world has watched Gavin Newsom avoid a recall effort, now they want to be like, oh no. Oh right, this is by Don Thompson from the Associated Press 2 hours ago. California Governor Gavin Newsom handily defeated a recall election on that could have removed him from office, but his Democratic allies in the legislature are already seeking changes. That's right, and you can see here's an advert. I archived this because I don't like but the advert was right there. Democrats could change weaponized California recall system. It's not a weapon. It's for when a politician has abused his power, and Gavin Newsom has drastically abused his power, drastically during in the guise of public safety. He is an absolute clown. Absolute clown. Those changes could include raising the standards to require wrongdoing on the part of the office holder, allowing them to, repeat more abuse of their power, lock the state down for months and months and months and months and months. Couldn't really leave your home. Small businesses, just were literally choked to death, and these are normal people who own them, everyday Californians. Well, he went to the French Laundry with all his friends. Oops. Yeah, somebody said that was alt-right news information. There's a picture of him there. See, Piper agrees too. He's all wound up because it's morning time. Just an absolute abuse of power. He's a clown, and he's avoided recall because he's on Hollywood's side. When mom and pop shops and normal everyday people shops couldn't work, and then of course you had Hollywood next door filming movies and television shows. Interesting. Increasing the number of signatures needed to force a recall election. It needs like 100,000 signatures anyway. And they're like 100,000, 200,000, something insane. And changing the process that could permit someone with a small percentage of votes to replace the state's top elected official. Dude, the Democrats have a supermajority in California. A supermajority. Like, seriously, even if he would have gotten recalled, wasn't going to happen. And Larry Elder, took over, he wasn't going to get anything done. The Democrats have a supermajority for the last 40 or 50 years. Guess what? California is one of the most in-debt states in the whole entire nation. About 145.7 million, if I remember correctly. $145.7 billion. Florida, that has been open quite a bit, and everybody equates to Death Santis. It's only about 43 billion in debt. California owns 100 billion more in debt than a state that's roughly roughly almost the same size, and has the oldest population in the nation. Go figure. I think the recall process has been weaponized, Newsom said. Oh, that's where we got this trash. Wednesday, a day after his decisive victory. You're a loser, dude. You're a loser. He came out to Tupac. He thinks you're idiots. He came out to Tupac because he's like, my black votes. Are you guys high? He's like the man driving down the road in a van with candy. He hands you the candy and you go, "Oh, I love candy." And then you hop in and then he has his way with you and it's ugly. He added that the recall rules also affect school boards, city councils, county supervisors, and district attorneys, notably in Los Angeles and San Francisco, where progressive prosecutors with reform agendas are facing recall efforts. Progressive where progressive prosecutors with reform agendas. You know, an agenda is not a good thing, right? Right? That's not a good word. The governor noted that California has one of the nation's lowest thresholds for number of signatures needed to trigger a recall election. In Newsom's case, the recall proponents had to collect nearly 1.5 million signatures. I'm sorry, I was way off. Out of 22 million registered voters, in their bid to oust him, or 12% of the electorate who voted him into office in 2018. By contrast, Kansas requires 40%. Okay, well, I mean, they went for the recall and you won like by like a landslide. I think it was like 67%, like 33%. It was embarrassing. And I'm not even calling, I haven't heard anybody call the voter fraud on this one. So, I mean, they said that there were like some kind of kooky things, but I mean, that's to be expected. That's why I said there needs to be more evidence to throw around the FRAUD word. But the efforts faced pushback from those who organized the recall election against Newsom and questions from experts who said California's law is better than many others in limiting requirements that make it harder to recall politicians. I think it should be easier to recall a politician. You know why? Because you work for us. And if you go out there and you sprinkle your nonsense and abuse of power all over everything, we should be able to rein you back in and say, oh, hold up there, sailor. What you doing? They're working in opposition of the will of the people when they take action like that to limit our ability to self-govern, said Orrin Hetley, chief proponent of the recall effort. There is little benefit for Democrats in pushing changes that could anger voters, said Joshua Spivak, an expert on recalls and senior fellow at the Hugh L. Carey Institute for Government Reform in New York. From a political point of view, it's kind of crazy, and I can't imagine why they would spend political capital on this, Spivak said. Are you going to go to the voters and say, well, we didn't deal with the homeless problem, but yeah, we fixed the recall? Yeah, that's going to go real well. The homeless problem is rampant in San Francisco, LA, San Diego. I mean, they have an app, and it's not even a joke, where, you can mark in San Francisco where there's human feces from the homeless on the streets. Yeah. It just doesn't seem to be like a smart move. No, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Your term is up in a year, and there's another election. Go ahead, do it. Do it. You spineless coward. State Senator Josh Newman, who was recalled in 2018 before regaining his seat 2 years later, said he will propose two constitutional amendments, one to raise the number of required signatures and another to have the lieutenant governor finish the governor's term if a recall succeeds. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, no. We need to create a system where a small minority of Californians can't initiate a recall that the California taxpayers spent $300 million on, and that frankly distracts and really has an impact on our ability to govern for 9 months, Democratic Assemblyman Mark Berman said. But if you go to the federal level, they want to try to push the that vaccine on you. I'm for free choice, and I've been vaccinated, but that was my choice, and I did it because I have people in my life that are at risk, so I took the risk. And I've also been in the military, so I have more vaccines probably thrown through my veins that I'll probably die at the age of 60. I don't know. Hope not. But yeah, go ahead and push that nonsense on people. Yeah, Newsom said on Tuesday became the only second governor in U.S. history to defeat a recall. The other was Wisconsin Republican Scott Walker in 2012. The win cements him as a prominent figure in national Democratic politics and ensures that the nation's most populous state remains a laboratory for progressive policies that have absolutely failed on all fronts. Defund the police, woohoo, idiots. With an estimated 74% of the ballots counted, with no responses to the question of whether the recall Newsom was ahead by 28 points margin. At the Capitol, Berman and Senator Stephen Glazer, who had the legislative elections panels, promised bipartisan hearings in the coming months with the goal of proposing constitutional changes sometime after lawmakers reconvene in January. Changes to the recall law must be approved by voters. Yeah. Yeah. This is a system that was set up about a century ago to the extent to which it's still valid in its current reform. It needs to be looked at for sure, Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon said. Because it's been around for a while. A Public Policy Institute of California survey in July found that 86% of California likely voters approve of having a way to recall elected officials, a sentiment that transcends political parties, regions, and demographic groups. But two-thirds of likely voters also supported major or minor changes, though Republicans and Democrats split over the extent of the changes. There's always going to be division, but Gavin Newsom has survived the nooses. He shouldn't have. Everyone in California who voted for that, you should be ashamed. Those of you who voted to recall him and now you're stuck with that absolute clown for another year, leave your bad policies there and feel free to move somewhere else in the United States. But if you bring your nonsensical progressive policies with you, you're only going to doom another state. And you know what? The voters there and the people who have lived there for a very long period of time, and I saw this happen to Colorado when they legalized the marijuana, has turned it into a crap hole. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys.